This is the final experiment.
Hello and welcome to another Bearded Geek toy review. In today's video, we're doing something Dalek related. So we're not looking at the character options Doctor Who action figure range, but we are looking at something that's Doctor Who related, something based on a piece of merchandise that was released way back in, I think, 2008. Early 2009, when the show was probably, you'd say, at the height of its merchandise popularity, when literally you couldn't move for Doctor Who merchandise everywhere with that kind of like orange, like oval style logo that was emblazoned everywhere, and obviously David Tennant's face staring down at you in like Toys R Us. They had a huge display there. The action figure range was like selling in their bucket loads. So every company wanted to jump on the bandwagon. And one of those companies that jumped on the bandwagon was Airfix. Now, Airfix obviously do model kits. They're probably the biggest name in the model kit industry, along with Revell. And they bagged the Doctor Who license and they released 2 Doctor Who model sets. Obviously, you had to build them yourself. You had to paint them yourself, because that's what you do with models. You don't kind of really, they don't come like action figures or fully painted and done and then just posable, and you can take them out of the box and play them straight away. Models take time and patience, which is something that I've never really had. So anyway, let's move this character options Dalek out of the way, and obviously this is here for a reason, because I will be doing a comparison. But let me just bring on the Doctor Who Daleks in Manhattan Airfix kit.
Behold the true Dalek form. Now,
let's just get that all in screen. Right, so we can go back there. As you can see, there it is in all its glory. There's a little bit at the top there. We're not missing much if we just cut that out. Yes, this is a model kit, and I bought this many years ago from a Manchester model shop that was based in the Trafford Centre, which is kind of like the huge shopping centre just outside of Manchester. It's one of those big kind of like all-inclusive places, and there was a model shop in there, and unfortunately they were closing down. So they had a bit of a closing down sale, and they had both of the Doctor Who model kits in there. And I thought, well, do you know what? Why not? Let's buy them. There's a good bargain, and potentially I could make them. Did I make them? Did I? Balls. I put them away in storage. Completely forgot about them. I mean, it was only last year when I was having a bit of a clear out. I found these 2 model sets because I bought both. I bought this Daleks in Manhattan set, and I bought the other set, which was called Welcome Home, or Welcome Aboard. Welcome Aboard it was called. And that had the TARDIS, and it had a kind of like figure of the 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant, and Martha Jones, played by Freema Agyeman. And obviously you could put that kit together and obviously paint then the figures and the TARDIS. So that is partially built, but not by me. This is been built and painted and everything by my Uncle Ian, who is an absolute bloody genius. The guy has a talent. He's always done model kits, even from way back when I was a young lad. I used to go around to my grandma and granddad's, and he'd be there in the corner of the dining room. He had a little like square table, and he'd be there putting together his Airfix and Revell kits, doing World War II tanks, and he had this really cool technique where he'd warm up a needle, and then obviously so the edge of the end of the needle would be very, very like hot, and then he could put bullet holes through the armor of the tank or the jeeps that he was building. So he was very, very inventive. The guy is a genius. I've shown his work off in some other videos, mainly shorts. So if you've seen those shorts with where I've shown like the Spider-Man model kit, the Spider-Man and Venom kit, Storm, and also the Predator figure that he got me for my big birthday a couple of years ago, which is like 12 inches large, and that's in the display cabinet in our living room. That is all built by him. The guy has a talent. He's an absolute genius, as I said. And so I gave him these 2 model kits and said, there you go, something to keep you busy. And he said, yeah, all right. I completely forgot I'd given them to him. And then literally the other day we were around there for having a bit of tea and a catch up. And he said, just came down from his loft and he said, here you go, built you your Dalek set. And he was like, oh my God. So this is it. Let's have a closer look, because what he's done, I think, is just really, really cool. So first of all, we'll look at the actual set itself, which again is based on that Series 3 2-parter, Daleks in Manhattan. So it has a kind of like 30s retro feel to it. So he's done the paint work there, like kind of like giving it that concrete kind of look, which is really, really cool. Obviously, he's put on these kind of things on the side, which came with it. He's painted that. He's put the decals on there, kind of like that old 50s, 30s style, kind of like electric Frankenstein era, kind of like, you know, technology. And obviously you can see on the side there. Now, I just think that's really, really good. He's done a fantastic job of just bringing that set to life. But then the actual Daleks themselves. Now, this one is obviously complete. Now, just to give you a comparison, I'm going to bring in the Character Options 5.5 inch Dalek figure. This is one of many. So obviously you can see the scale there. So that's probably more in line with a 6-inch scale. So obviously if you've got a 6-inch like action figure, like you kind of like your Marvel Legends, your Star Wars Black Series, that would probably be more in scale there. But yeah, so he has obviously done the paint work as well. He's done that all himself. He did tell me he discarded the paints that came with the actual Airfix set. He said, yeah, they were a load of rubbish. So he said, I've got my own paints, and I've got out. He went and bought some more like enamel paints as well. So you can just see kind of like all that kind of like bespokeness, that paint work on there that he's done, which is really, really cool. Now, these Daleks do have an electronic feature. So as you can see on the base there is room for some batteries. There's a battery compartment. So what they do have sound and lights on them. So we'll just put that Dalek there. Now the Airfix kit came with obviously the LEDs for the ears, and obviously the sound is in the Dalek. And obviously there was a button, or you kind of like press the eye stalk down, and obviously it would say something and the ears would flash. My uncle, being an absolute genius at that kind of thing, wasn't happy with that. So he decided to drill through the eyepiece, because the eyepiece was actually just like that. It was just kind of like standard. It was blank, so you could paint it blue. And he was like, well, no, hold on. Because he said he watched the episodes before he started building this, just so he could get some reference. He said, I don't like that. That shouldn't be as it is. The eye stalk should light up. So he had a couple of spare LEDs. So he's drilled through into the eyepiece, and he's modified it so that not only do the ears light up when it talks, but the eyepiece does as well. So let me just see if I can.
The children of Skaro must walk again.
I'll just do that again.
The children of Skaro must walk again.
So it only has that phrase, which is a little bit disappointing, but that's Airfix's fault. But how cool is that? And yes, the ears are kind of like a yellowish green, but that's the LEDs that kind of like, I think it came. And he's put a red LED because he said he didn't have any blue ones left. But I really like that. You know, you could argue that's not canon because the Daleks don't have a red eye socket. But who cares when it looks as cool as that? So I think that's supposed to be Dalek Khan, if I remember rightly from the episode. So obviously this was the Cult of Skaro, which were the 4 Daleks who were given names by the Dalek Supreme and tasked with obviously, you know, modifying and making sure that the Daleks survived during the Time War. So let's move on to Dalek Sec. Now, obviously this is fixed like this. It doesn't actually like move because it's a model kit. It's not an action figure. But let's just look at the detail that he's done with the actual creature of Dalek Sec in the middle. I just look at that. Look at that paintwork that he's done. That's just fantastic. That is really good. The way he's got that kind of the glistening to it, the kind of like different textures. He's really gone to town on this. So that I think is really cool. And plus, you'll notice that the colour scheme is slightly different. Now, Dalek Sec was completely like a glossy black Dalek. And my Uncle Ian said, oh, that's a bit boring, that. So he decided to do it slightly differently. And he's put it in a gunmetal grey, which is kind of like my favourite version of the Daleks from the classic series. He didn't know that at the time. But I just think that looks really, really cool. And I've said for ages, I've said that the new series Daleks in this style would look absolutely fantastic in some of the classic series colour schemes. You know, the silver and blue from the 60s. Obviously, we didn't see that. We only know that from reference photos. The silver and black from John Pertwee's Death to the Daleks. And then you've got that gunmetal kind of like grey and black from Genesis of the Daleks that they kind of like more or less used onwards for the rest of the classic series run. But just look at that. That is just really, really cool. And again, just the sheer detail of the model that's been brought out with the paint scheme. I just think that's really, really cool there. And again, just give you a nice kind of like look at just how shiny, gunmetal-y grey that colour scheme is that he's done there. I really am loving this. And again, this has LEDs. It did have the ears lighting up, but again, my Uncle Ian has improvised, so we'll just do. So he did have a blue LED, he didn't have 2, so he's put the blue one in there, and so we have a blue eye socket there, and we've got a red one there. I think that's really, really cool. So yeah, absolutely loving this. This is I'm gonna have to find somewhere to put this on display because this is too good to put in storage. But thank you, Ian. You are a model making genius. And next time I'm round Eddie's house, and if he lets me, we'll go into his loft that's where he does all his model making, and that's where all these like kind of completed models are. I'll do a quick video showing just how good the models that he's got are on display. He says he's nearly completed the Welcome Aboard TARDIS set. He's just painting the 10th Doctor and Martha figures. So when that's finished, I'll do another video on that, because these Airfix kits were kind of like a one-off. I don't think they sold that well, which is obviously why they were then, a couple of years after that, subsequently discounted. And like I say, I picked them up on clearance in a model shop that was closing down. But yeah, they still really don't go for that much money as an unmade kit on eBay. So they really did mass produce these. But if you're that way inclined, search these out, because these are really, really good. And I think they just make fantastic displays. They're really great model kits. And they have, obviously, a nice little feature here.
The children of Skaro must walk again. Final experiment will begin.
Yeah, just a lovely little feature that just adds to the set. So there you go. The Daleks in Manhattan Doctor Who Airfix kit, completed and improved on. So if you really like that video, then don't forget to leave us a like, and also hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to be notified whenever we upload any brand new videos. We will be bringing you some Marvel Legends, some DC Multiverse, some Star Wars Black Series, and probably some more Doctor Who in the very, very near future. But in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you. Oh, that was a perfect take, that, and I've ruined it. Bollocks. We'll see you very, very soon on Bearded Geek Toy Reviews. Bye now.
The children of Skaro must walk again. I am a human Dalek.